what you can see in the pictures, that they'll see at least that the right thing was probably done.
Will you go on to Baltimore?
I don't know yet. I have to see how he comes out of it, talk to Mr. Farish, and go from there. I've got, because I know where those races are at Saratoga, I would like to have, now that we've been through this, I'd like to have a fresh horse going into there, but I do want to talk to him and see what his reaction
So
is.
the Travers could be the long range goal for you.
Yes.
And how you get there is maybe not the Preakness.
Maybe not the Preakness, but that's just me saying this standing here right now. It could all change.
But he came back okay?
Yeah, he came back fine.
It was the strangest thing because in the press thing afterwards, they were showing the stretch run. So I think a lot of us had no clue what really happened. Was your horse in any way impeded with the melee?
Not in the initial melee. When Sias came back over, when he straightened him out, I think we got bumped a little bit. But that's something I'd have to take a little more look at.
How would you explain to the novice or the non-racing fan what the rule is, and if you believe they did the right thing, why?
Well, I don't know what the rule is, but I mean, I think that he did impede some other horses' forward motion, and when he did that, then you have to take a look and see if it cost them places or not. And with what I saw in those pictures, I think it did probably did cost some people maybe some places, and but all I'm doing is going off pictures.
Kenny McPeak had a video this morning, I guess, that said that it's the jockey's responsibility to keep the horse in his lane.
Well, it is,
but it appeared like he came over about at least 2 lanes.
Yeah, but that is true.
Yeah.
They're supposed to keep them in their lane. The jocks have got a little bit of a situation now where they're letting the horses drift out, especially see the horse coming on the outside or something. I don't know this, but I don't really think that was what happened. I think that he saw something and it startled him and went to the outside. I don't think it was Sias's fault.
Right. No,
And then he just had to straighten him back up a little bit. Because Johnny told me something happened, and he said, I thought he said Mike Smith's horse bolted, but it must have been Maximum Security bolted. And he said Code of Honor saw the same thing. I said, well, what was it? He said, I don't know what it was, but they saw something.
Could have been a puddle or something?
Well, my inclination would be something,
On the
a
infield?
sign or something in the infield. I don't know.
But
And he didn't know, and he was on top of him. So.
Well, your longtime friend and training colleague, Bill Mott, wins the Derby. But put it in perspective, the way the Derby was won.
Well, I mean, put it in perspective, that'd be. I'm really glad for him. I've been over there this morning, but I'm sure if it came down to it, he would have rather won it not that way. But he won it, and I'm glad for him. I'm glad for Mrs. Shields. She's, known her and her husband for years, and it's a good thing for them.
Bill said, I guess on the podium, he said, now we have to go out and prove it. So there'll be the sort of, I don't know if the horse will feel the pressure, but the thing that people want to see a legitimate,
Well, there's going to be, you're right about that. It's going to be an interesting 2 weeks, to say the least. They might let everything calm down here for the middle of the week or something, but when Preakness week starts up again, it'll be interesting. And
you've been around your whole life in this. Have you ever seen anything even close to this?
probably not on this big a stage with all the positive and negatives that we're going to hear for a while. It's been 145 years. It's never happened before. I think one thing we need to be thankful for that it wasn't worse than it was.
In light of what's happened in the sport with the Santa Anita stuff, and now this on the biggest stage, do you think people might look at horse racing and say, what's going on with this sport?
Well, I hope not. I hope that the people look at it and can see some of the pictures that I've seen, and you've seen, I'm sure.
Not really. That's the way to see him. I don't work for the Courier anymore. I don't see the
No,
pictures.
but I mean,
Yeah.
well, she had it on her phone, on Facebook and stuff. That, it could even work in the other way. Well,
They made the tough call.
They made a tough call instead of just letting it ride like we always hear. Well, they're not going to take a horse down in that bigger race. I mean, that was my initial reaction. It ain't going to happen.
Right.
The longer I stood there on the track, the more I thought something maybe was going to happen. But
It was kind of like the Santa Anita with Byron, and people were critical that the stewards didn't take action.
well, no doubt. I agree with that.
So after you've seen the replay, do you think it's the right call then?
I do think it was, but I have not seen the replay.
Okay.
I have seen the replay, but I couldn't read it off those. My old eyes don't see it. And but I did see it on just some pictures on the phone last night on Facebook that showed still pictures, and it if those were true to everything, then I think they made the right call.
Do you think there should have been a Stewards inquiry?
I don't know how there wasn't.
And then the fact that Tyler Gaffalione on Moral Will didn't claim foul, and he looked like he took the worst of it.
I think he did.
I mean, if you were his trainer,
You got that picture?
Be having a conversation with him.
yeah. I mean, wouldn't you have said claim if it was your horse?
If I would have been able to see it that well,
Which
yeah.
one?
But I think that, if it's all taking a little bit, it's told a little bit, then I'll just say let's pull the plug for a little while and, point to something for like the Dwyer on 4th of July. Obviously, I've never won the Preakness. I've won the other two. I'd love to win the Preakness, but I don't want to do it at the expense of the horse. I don't want to look up and, like I say, come the middle of the summer and say, I think we're better than some of these and we're not involved.
You seen Jason this morning?
No, I haven't seen his horse, but I have not seen him.
What would you say to him?
I just say, it's a tough break, I can't say, we're big guys. You can't say, well, I feel sorry for you, it was a tough break.
Yeah.
I mean, to win the Preakness and get to that, the Derby, and to get to that high, and then to go to that low in a matter of 15, 20 minutes is, would be pretty, and having to stand out there and wait through it. Because I'm sure they saw, and the jock knew too, something had happened.
Right.
So it wasn't a matter of, I can't imagine, I don't understand why they claimed foul.
You kind of see it in the jock's eyes, actually. I mean, in his face. He kind of knew that he knew something had happened.
Yeah, well, like I say, I was almost to the turn when they said there'd been a claim of foul. So I just put the brakes on, and then the longer it went, then I moved a little bit farther, and then I thought, well, let's sit here and see what's going on. And so I was just watching it on the TV thing, and
Horse racing will definitely be in the news.
it'll be in the news. I mean,